Iran is winning the war of narratives in this conflict, for better or worse. I'm not taking sides. Factually, the world, by and large, is seeing Israel as the aggressor and Iran as the victim. Just now, Iran's foreign minister has claimed they have solid evidence that the United States helped Israel in its devastating attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities and the assassination, of course, of their military commanders and civilian scientists. Iran's foreign minister Arachi told foreign diplomats in a televised meeting that Iran possesses concrete proof of American forces and American bases in the region supporting Israel's Operation Rising Lion. This is a master chess move by Iran. I'll explain why in a second. While Washington strongly denies direct involvement, Iran is arguing that American weapons, American intelligence sharing, and American regional military infrastructure made these precision strikes by Israel into Iran possible. Israeli jets are being refueled from flipping American bases and American refueling planes, for example. The timing of this accusation is critical. It comes as Iran launched its own retaliatory missile strikes to keep their population satisfied and stabilize the domestic situation, to keep them satisfied the state is doing something to respond, while those missiles are not escalating enough for international condemnation to be targeted at Iran. Iran's strategy is admittedly brilliant. Reinforce the framing of themselves as the victim of a joint Israeli-American attack. And the master chess move? Accuse America of further involvement. America itself started June 13th by distancing themselves from Israel's attacks. So the US was already out on the diplomatic retreat. They were trying to yeet themselves out of this before it even started. I don't want to be involved, they said. Now Iran is stepping forward and accusing them of being complicit. And America is having to double down and shout louder. I am not supporting Israel. They're having to, be louder. The evidence Iran claims to have centers on logistics and intelligence. How did Israel's 200 fighter jets penetrate Iranian airspace so effectively, they're asking? How did they locate and eliminate Iran's top brass, their Revolutionary Guard commanders, with such precision? Iran argues this level of operational success requires American satellite intelligence, refueling support, and coordination through US bases in the region. Whether true or not, it doesn't actually matter. This narrative push is gaining traction across the Middle East and the global South countries. And the more aware other nations are of this claim, the louder and more forceful America has to be to deny their own involvement, further isolating Israel. And on the ground, they may actually have to stop providing some of their support, like refueling assistance. Because, I'll get to it later, the American population are being riled up. China and Russia are amplifying, to make things worse, Iran's claims, while even Trump allies in America are questioning why the US should be dragged into another Middle Eastern war, another Middle Eastern conflict. Israel tried to agitate the Iranian people, and it failed. Iran is trying to agitate the American people now, and it's working. Americans were already upset in their tens of millions of US support of Israel's actions in Gaza. Tell them that America is refueling jets that are striking another sovereign nation in a preemptive strike, and those Americans are going to lose their collective minds. Iran has successfully shifted the conversation from their nuclear program being a threat to regional stability or whatever, the Israeli narrative basically. They've shifted it to American complicity in what they've framed as an unprovoked attack. The real impact isn't whether Iran's evidence is solid. It's how this narrative is reshaping the regional dynamics and perceptions. And the US position is shaky, so Arab nations are taking advantage. They who normalized relations with Israel are reconsidering their positions. And of course, their populations will love them for that. Turkey, Pakistan, and other traditional US partners or nations under the US sphere of influence, they're expressing at a state level their sympathy for Iran's position. And their populations are going to appreciate that because anti-Israeli sentiment is at an all-time high right now because of the year and a half of occupied Palestinian besieging and attacks by Israel in Gaza and West Bank. Right? Amongst the ordinary citizenry of most nations, anti-Israeli sentiment is, for better or worse, very high, and Iran's capitalizing. Iran has turned their military weakness into diplomatic strength by positioning themselves as the David facing the America-Israeli Goliath. Mad and ironic, of course. This narrative battle matters because it determines which side gets regional and international support in an escalating conflict should things carry on. Iran's messaging is simple but effective. We're the victims of an America-backed Israeli aggression. We're defending our sovereignty against foreign intervention. There's flipping Israeli jets flying over our capital. Israel and the US are struggling to counter that framing, while also maintaining their security partnership. America under MAGA, Trump, America First, is struggling to justify supporting Israel when it looks like a net loss for America. So if you care about America First, it looks like you should drop Israel like it's hot. Operation Rising Lion. Israel gave it the name, and Iran looks to be delivering the reality. A rising Persian lion indeed, but most definitely not what Israel had in mind. For the news and the analysis, unbiased and without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you guys on the next one.